There is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness. Your conscious ferments in it. No larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore. Ever. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever, baby. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
An awareness creeps up on you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle, soaking in some lurid acidic sauce. It's bloated and shameful, a ball of meat surrounding you. This is a terrible line of questioning, and it will only lead to more awareness.
There. No ball of meat. No light in the formless nothing. Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage. All right. Nothing town to fuck all borough. Not you. Your days of giving a shit and being that type of animal are over. Do you really?
You wouldn't like it if I told you what was back there. Why'd you think you had to bludgeon yourself into oblivion? Or did you not sense yourself marinating? Poured so much on yourself, got a bit carried away.
Fear and apprehension. You should ask what's out there first.
There's this giant ball there. An evil apes. And the evil apes are juking it out on the ball. You're one of them. It's basically, you can't even make out it's a ball when you're joking it out. It's that large. Infinitesimally small. Vying for resources. It's just a stupid expression you picked up somewhere. The part of the presentation you want to take home with you is this. You have to beat the other evil apes in the face, or you lose. Yes, it is. And you drowned in that sadness a long time ago. You lost.
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off. Hot water sprays from the base and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the outline of a man. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror, abort. You clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it. Behold. You have no idea who this thing is, do you? Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Or wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. You can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? Please promise yourself you are not going to try it on any of the ladies. What? You liar. You can't even tell the truth to yourself. Go ahead. Try something. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now. It's too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to your primary motor cortex. It would take a minor neurological miracle. This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie, or has it been consigned there as punishment? You feel as though this creature is your friend and wants to reattach itself to your neck so that you may continue. You reach out to grab the tie, but what's this? Diffuse radiating chest pain. This is bad. Feels like shock for quite a long time. Still ongoing. Now, finally, the pressure recedes. You find yourself covered in cold sweat and the blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. You swoop up and catch the tie. What you have in your hand is a fantastically colorful tie with 4 or 5 different patterns. A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. It's just a little hangover-induced photosensitivity. Don't overreact. Little black spots dance on your retinas. It's almost pleasurable. You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket. It says, whirling in rags, on the aluminium key ring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door. The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. What do you mean? Assess the damage. How would you do that? What? The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean and some war-torn. The morning light hurts your eye.
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips.
No.
There's only one solution to this. You're a businessman. The young woman shakes her head.
No. You're a police officer, sir. I'm not. Unless you've been here for 3 days. Couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking.
The words have already left your mouth.
What was that? That's not even how words are used. No. You see, come on, man.
Don't back down now. Say what you said.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
She looks back at you.
Goodbye.
The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you. The door is closed. This door can only be... Still no answer. Still, you should punch a fucking hole in it. The murmur in your ears recedes slowly. Your breathing normalizes. You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know you're vast, utterly, and it needs to be heard. Through a PA system, by other people, whether they like it or not. Ram it up there. You have not yet stumbled on the right lamentation, but it's out there. It'll come to you. No. Don't sing the happy song. You have to find something tragic to sing first, though. You have not yet stumbled on the right. No, you have not yet stumbled. Serves them right. You have to find something. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack. The man does not mind.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. As you approach, if an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You are sure of this, but why? He is your half-brother.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 50.
You realize this is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get creative. Conceptual concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but they are...
Okay then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here? Then we should ask him for a rundown of the area. Get me up to speed. I understand it also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Okay. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? So, the body is still in the tree.
This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It is obvious he would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree.
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner. We all feel that way sometimes. There is no such thing as a police officer, I'm afraid. What remains is that there is a dead body, but first, we have to take it down. After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation...
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I advise you to try to locate it as quickly as possible, but getting the body down should still take precedence.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party. You can talk to him.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. And have you found anyone to be sweet to? You rascal. I'm too old for you.
Your advances haven't thrown her off one bit.
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Whatever do you mean? Ah, yes. Probably Roll With Me by the Fletchers. People often quote the Fletchers at me. Morel says it's my theme song. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
Oh my. You know where we are, right? A seaside hostel called the Whirling in Rags, to be precise. And the Whirling itself is in Revachol. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful... I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? There. The year is 51, and spring has only just started.
The lieutenant studies you. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad?
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What? Oh, sweetie. It's really not. There used to be people who thought that way. Other people who wanted those things, but Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no dictator. It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in but we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like...
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. It has something to do with everything.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? And how can I help you?
Someone more educated in...
No, I'm not an encyclopedia.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though, of course, dear. Good luck.
A man in his late 20s with a thin, unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant. Could he be irritated with you? He avoids eye...
Mr. Guard, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
Are you kidding me? It's you. It's obviously you. You.
See? Everyone agrees it's your color scheme. We're on the right track with this name thing.
Is this what you get when you call the police now? We've been waiting for a week here.
Sir, I understand your concern, but...
Yes, of course.
For a moment, the man fidgets under the lieutenant's gaze.
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but it also took you a while to call us. It was you who placed the...
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You said you just got here.
What, of Martinez? No. I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the...
But you still know your way around.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said...
I didn't imply that. Detective, it's your turn. The body was behind the building, right? How do we get there?
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there.
And how do...
See that door there? Go out and turn right. There's a big hole in the fence. No need for a key. Just go through that hole and you'll be in the courtyard.
Are you supposed to feel guilty about the hole? His side...
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
No one is saying the multi-pattern necktie you found tied to the ceiling fan can talk. No one.
Let's bail! Time to push the eject button! Sounds like a responsibility! You don't like those!
No, don't listen to him. It's madness. Just talk.
Oh, you don't owe me shit. Well, officer, you're right. You don't owe me shit.
We do not need to assert ourselves here. We only need instructions from him. This is the proprietor, remember?
You know, I get this all the time. Some hobo comes in here or some backpacking arsehole off the boat. The next day, when they can't make their fees, they get aggressive. I just never thought
Who does that clown think he is? Arrest him!
What are you, brain damaged? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room or 8 bottles of potent blend. For survival, to pay me. Unless you want to become a hobo. Do you want to become a hobo? There's nowhere else to stay in Martinet. If you run out of money, you die. It's like that for all of us.
There's a shuffle of nylon as that's cop 4. I haven't offered to pay because I don't have any money either.
No one is saying that! No one is saying that Ty can talk! That would be ludicrous! It's just that you should arrest him! It would be wiser! He wants to take your money!
The lieutenant watches you fiddle with your horrific tie. Sweat.
If you don't have the money, it's okay. None of us are in this for the wages.
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by...
Officer, maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away.
You mean somewhere else to run up a huge debt? I don't think so. The union squeezed most places out of business to fund the strike. You're better off home.
No, don't. There's no need. You really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car. Call them, ask for assistance.
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? Why did you say that? The old thesaurus comes up empty.
No. But isn't that an expression? A saying. Up on Marvel Hill.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when... That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself. Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and... Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window.
What are you doing? We should move.
You could definitely go for some more.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here. Of course. What can I help you with? Excuse me?
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should...
Oh. Well, I didn't write it there. Okay. Since the street sign's messed up? Okay. There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenants, the harbor gates, some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local. Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken. Just coast. There's a little fishing village there. And
rows of stalls under a broad roof, where silvery fish were heaped on newspapers. Water everywhere, pouring from the heavens in the shadow of the old church.
I don't know. The abandoned kind? It's just water. No, actually, I think they call...
In the west is the miracle.
No problem. Of course.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
Of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. This button looks new, but...
This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Kuno's got this!
Oh yeah! Nappa Gumpy, Kuno! Right in the dick, Kuno! Get him right in the dick!
Love it in the dick!
The boy is sweating profusely. His eyes are like two black holes and his jaw is twitching as if trying to break. The kid is obviously high.
Can't talk, pig! Shit's coming up strong! Throwing rocks?
Shit coming up strong. That sounds good. Joyous.
Yeah, Kuno! Ride the lightning!
Kuno's riding it, see?
The rake, Kuno! You should throw the rake at him, Kuno!
The fuck? Does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener.
We shouldn't do anything. You will see.
The fuck are you?
He's calling us Kuno! He says we're fucking each other!
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one...
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected. You feel a great force ringing from your stomach, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet, and your throat stings from the stomach.
Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. Sure you do. You just threw up a lot. There is Freight nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small apothecary. If they don't, there's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling...
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack. Because it's nice and orderly. No, there's more to this. You get this strange feeling. Hard to say. It's gone now. Feelings pass, you see. This trash container is... There's something in there. Not necessarily... The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
Trash? Food waste from the cafeteria? They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidenced. What do you mean, feel? We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in...
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and vapor emanates from the large end. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat.
This is the Kupris Kinema, my motor carriage. You can use the toolbox and the radio if you'd like.
Motor carriage, motor carriage. Something bad with a motor carriage. A dark lump rises in your throat.
A motorized vehicle, officer. I'm sure you are familiar with the concept. We've had these for nearly a century.
Nothing. It's probably nothing. Forget I brought it up. Please proceed with the carefree lollygagging. In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox, and a metallic drawer.
Take what you need, officer.
He's clearly a little protective of the pry bar. Cold, useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. It's robust. Weather lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutter. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The frequency tableau lights the soft purr of electrical.
This is Precinct 57. Hello.
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st Precinct here. I'm putting him on.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a second, officer.
10-2, 10-5. This is 41st.
A scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle, smoking, with a large white rectangle sewn on his vest. In front of him is a box-shaped apparatus with an array.
10-4, what's your status? Over. 10-18, 10-20, over. 10-18, 10-20, over. State your message, sir. Over. 10-4, I hear you. I don't have the...
Is it him? What does he want?
He says he needs money.
Don't give that asshole anything. He's just...
All right. That's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over. He says it's impossible.
He isn't getting a red
request.
Nothing is working.
He says he's...
Well, I guess he'd better...
Who cares what this Vic Mayor said? Enough, officer. This begging is below your dignity.
He said,
What is he saying?
did you want anything else, sir? Many of your colleagues...
You really need to get your shit together. This is nearing a complete meltdown. Suddenly, the necktie feels...
Hey, if you don't want to have the most intense orgasm of your life, fine.
He terminated the connection. I guess he was in a hurry.
The radio falls silent and lifeless.
What was that? It's okay, detective. We should get on with our tasks.
18 kilometers to the south, in the 41st Precinct's relay booth, a small crowd has gathered around Communication Officer. The small room is filled with cigarette smoke.
What is going on here? Did something happen?
What happened is my partner made contact. It's not good. He's in
Mac, the torso Torson, is finger-fucking his fist, laughing hoarsely and apparently telling some dirty story.
Yeah, Mullen was fucked, alright. Sounded fucking drunk to me.
Yeah, Mac's right. This was some gnarly shit there. I mean...
Enough! None of this is funny. It's fucking sad.
We must help him.
Yeah? How do you fucking plan to do that, huh?
I just know we can't give up on him when he's at his weakest. He wouldn't.
Mac, man the door. You know what he told me? I don't want to get better. I want to get worse. This shit does not leave this room. Not a word of this to the...
I guess I can hold off the report for a few days.
Good. Okay, everybody. Nothing but a prank call.
Far north, on the other side of the motorway, the officer quietly hunches with it.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Right.
10-4, come in. Fireworker. 10-9, repeat message, over. 10-4, message received. This is a very...
10-22, the captain. This Sat.
Any other good news?
He's saying
he what?
Who lost his badge?
Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective who would not lose his badge. Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
10-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note.
Fuck me. Mac, come here.
What's going on?
Super Cop here lost his badge.
He lost his
badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
10-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for captains.
Ask him. Ask him if he's lost his gun.
Sergeant Orson wants...
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is. Okay, it's gone.
Don't sweat it, Bratan! You don't need...
10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering... 10-1, you're breaking up. 10-9, repeat, please. Over. 10-9, come in, officer. Come in, officer. 10-9, repeat message, please. Did you misplace your firearm? Over.
The silence is almost deafening after.
That did not go well. I guess the important... Did we need anything else here?
This is Precinct... Of course. What is the number, officer?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005.
Received.
Give it a minute. She might...
Just wait.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line. Yes, hello? Oh, right.
You can hear resentment in her tone. There is no resentment in her tone. She wants you to ask her out. No question about it.
You mean, why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir. Maybe, I don't know. I just know I have to take some time off. No, not me. No, sorry. I don't. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer.
Yeah, go on. No, absolutely not. I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Yes, you have obviously done something to upset her at the Whirling in Rags when she was still working.
I'm not mad, it's just... You were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the skua thing happened. It just made me want to quit. The stuffed bird, the great skua. You threw it. I think you said it had been giving you shit ever since you got there. It was a pretty bird, there since I started.
There's genuine sadness in her voice.
Yes, obviously. I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Well, you were worse than all of them. Even about little things like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. We Go On, by the O.O. I can't listen to it anymore. You've turned it into a pack. To hell with that. Then there was your room. I tried to send the cleaner, but you wouldn't let me. Threatened to make me, and then screamed something about how you're a piece of shit human being, and why does anyone even let you work as a policeman? And then I had to deal with your toilet, the one you clogged with police doc. I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, damn it, I don't remember what I did to your damn papers. I don't...
She's worried she might have accidentally done.
Especially when there's a hurricane loose.
Something in you wants to immediately forget about.
No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst. God, I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it...
You hear a sigh of relief on the other end.
Anything else I can help you with? 57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like from another planet. Hey, it's the jam, my man. It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the... Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon... Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout. Yeah. Imagine. It's been a...
Behind the laugh, however.
So tell me, what do you need? It's like, whatever's going on over at the... Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like, I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like, a strike...
Ah, yes. From the Wild Pines.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching. Anything else. Yeah, us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. If you still hang around here waiting for this mess to end... Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one...
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of... A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Oh, high-grade narcotics.
Time to arrest him.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of found cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits and that kind. They usually get shipped to Grodd in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically.
Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got the bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. Don't be a stranger.
Welcome to Revachol.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out.
Oh, come on, man, I just said...
I know exactly what you meant. You think... But you see, I'm an officer of the RC.
Silence. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
You two make a keep.
The lieutenant, exhale.
Whatever you say, officers. Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait. Apples. Yeah,
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested. You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles.
What is what? If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real. Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something.
What's that magazine she's reading?
I don't know. Frit? A 7 to 11 grocery store. I think they think that the extra tea makes it funkier. It doesn't. You mean this? This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
She pops her raspberry. The lieutenant frowns at you.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone.
She looks up from...
Yes, what we have is there, in the medicine cabinet. Go take a look yourself. I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so not really. No. I didn't know him at all.
No need to worry. It's just standard.
Okay. Uh-huh. Reality? You mean, what? I don't really know anything. I mean, I'm 15. Yeah, that's why I'm working my arse off in Frit. So I guess I don't know. What about it? When ordinary people take over the government and... Yeah, it happened like 50 years ago or... Cool.
The tear machine stands in the corner.
Oh, that's the tear machine. It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever. You need a bag, I guess. We used to have... Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low A colourful display of there, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol.
Guess not, no.
Good thing you're an...
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarette...
Know this, you will never finish your alcohol quest if you don't buy beautiful alcohol. A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine.
Just ask me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
Yes?
No response. He just arches his brow.
Have you tried concentrating?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your
Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're not a fan.
The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this.
Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer. Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kin. Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the... That's a fair point. Alright, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't say that it does.
The lieutenant produces his... That's where his conversations with himself... You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect to your nervous system. You're special.
No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you...
That's correct.
That makes him a Binoclad. Completely uncut material.
Are they?
You could use a good, normal peer yourself.
That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother. It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity, and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting. You're barking at the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents, and I've never been...
He's glad to have shut down your question.
Good. Let's change the subject.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip. What did he do? High above you, the king stands small, wrinkled woman does not. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Nothing. No. This one is a monster in disguise. No response. Wherever.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to... Why?
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the...
Okay, don't, like, overdo it or something. Saint Baptiste. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals. I don't know. I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended. No.
Nozafad heals +1 health. Dramine heals +3 health.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction...
Yes?
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? Okay, sir. I'll try to... My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside, minding the register. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might...
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to help Mum out with the store. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. School? Well, mine is a big yellow building on Boogie Street, and the people there run it.
The gale wind blows in from the coast, a wind of needles. It wraps itself around a building of brick and mortar. Somewhere, a clamour rings through the honeycomb remorse. The parquet of assembly halls, the rows of stall bars are growing cold. You haven't heard a word of what she's been saying these...
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards... Hey. Psst. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love too? So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version. You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket. Funky style, very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism build? Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo. The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine. Do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is in... There he still is. There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. Heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and hobnails. Maybe more than 12. No, 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. 1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46. 2. Standard work boot. 3. Hobnail. 4. Standard work boot, number 45, or you don't know. It's a 5. Another 6. An aberration, light as air, impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped. You're not bad. It's as if the whole world. 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. But the imprints are 8. And yet another standard work boot, number 44.
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary? $200? Could it be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up? Let's say,
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is
Possibly, yes. A woman or a kid? Understood. Anything else? Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor.
He regrets it the moment he says it.
I don't know why I said that. We are not...
The lieutenant clearly appreciates the chance to clear up the...
Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right. We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. A week, maybe? 7 days.
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last one.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree. There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The ammonia only makes it worse. The second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Are you okay, officer?
The weight is reassuring, like a krenel.
You're facing tough odds here. It's aggravated further by alcohol withdrawal. Okay, you've said it. You needed to say it. And now that you have, you need to get your shit together. We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over...
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez. Weather wall.
Are you trying to sneak up? Pigs come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out. Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? Trying to sneak up on me.
Be another way into the building.
You see a young man on a balcony. Nurse.
Not looking for any trouble, officer. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay.
It's the god of cigarettes and youth. Ask him if he's got anything to spare.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. My name?
Martin Martinez. Good local name. Let's go.
My name?
Martin Martinez. Good.
I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate?
We will remove the body as soon.
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you? No, not you.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
You didn't answer the question.
It was my Sunday for...
Hey, son, makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals. He doesn't reply. Gesturing no with his cigarette. Someone hides behind a curtain. Those windows have eyes, and those eyes are watching.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be what for a moment.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information.
But, hold on. What's that? For a split second, it's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want, he could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there. If we find a way inside the building...
The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache.
Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old. No, we are not constructors and renovators. Not much. I don't...
A stone, like any other. There's a key beneath it.
This must be for the front door. Pity doesn't have to. We'll just have to go in.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board. No reply. The shackle snaps.
After you, detective.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth.
He's known as the father of scientific communism, also known as Masovianism. His theories about economic history greatly influenced, some would even say sparked, the anti-centennial rep. Whoever lives here definitely shares your enthusiasm. There aren't many communists around, not after the revolution. The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of the star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov. Even today, half a century after, to symbolize that also some social democrats were already using it. The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time, above it. Because white is the color of peace. Gone. Gone is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished You hear someone walking around inside. The walking stops. You can feel tension on the other. A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely...
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant?
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get...
A poor communard from the looks of it.
Do I have to open... Do you have a warrant?
Let's go.
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good.
This woman's health is failing her. There's not much to do.
Go ahead, then. What do you want to know, policeman? I'm no one. If you can call it living, it's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind be...
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry, pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martinez.
Oops. You really didn't.
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer.
Yes. I know who you mean.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show.
What's he in trouble for? Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those...
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment.
Volumetric ship compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the A shift in temperature, the air chills around you. Thus, a former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand is red from the cold. She's breathing on her finger. Faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place, but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls.
The streets will flow red once more.
The streets will not flow red.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. Had a battery of tests just last week.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes that smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy.
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil intended for exclusive use in...
What did you think I was using? Aquarels?
She really did it. She's proud of it too.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo.
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms. Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present. The woman on the boat does not.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will... You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. And watch your back.
The pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hand into. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time. Not familiar in a good way. You
Yes? What do you want to know? Maybe you can tell me what you do know. Do you want me to brief you? 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. They didn't identify themselves in any way. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The Dock Workers Union is the de facto police in Martinez. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city. That's right. No. It's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath. I can assure nothing like that will happen. No, something isn't.
There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing. The universe is too irrational, too morally complex. You should convince him.
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a...
His disdain is clear.
You don't know? I assumed you were in. That's good. Better still than an imbecilic cop-off. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If later was the good.
What if you did it? Yes, you killed him. And then? Maybe this is why your chest feels so hollow. You did an awful. Are you sure you would have the strength to take down a hardened mercenary? You're not in the best shape.
Excuse me? You have a distinctive way of work. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegial observation. They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet I'm sure you don't. It's just...
Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not you.
Yes? What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? 3 days ago... You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief? There's no 3 days ago, during that time. Okay then. Was there anything... Good.
Striking woman leans against the
Good afternoon, officers. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Phaeton, my maiden name. I'm glad to see you here.
She is unfazed by your rudeness.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview.
How interesting.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition.
Why, yes I am. Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou. We are. And the city of Revachol, I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol. It's for crossing long distances in a...
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
The boat? No. It is...
The word, it, feels strange. A breeze ripples through the sails and tugs at you.
Okay. How about Cordeleche 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordeleche, and its hull is 19 paces long. What? I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you. It's a pleasure craft. A 19-pace... My sloop? I like it a lot.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little...
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Officer,
The crowns of her teeth are qualified pleasure craft.
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part...
Actually, you don't. It is a little-known fact among those who police that the Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license.
About the boat? Good. This reality. No, but please. What? Such an acute encephalopathy just doesn't seem possible.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly.
We may be here a while then.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay? A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world.
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the...
She conveys it in short. Cold burst.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or... That seems...
What this boils down to is this reality.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your...
She stares at you, head tilted to the...
These are unimportant for the big...
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
All men are predators, dear. Nothing much to be done about that. It's the revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mid... Why, of course. We're talking Duke out Central. No. I would say the apes were neutral. I don't know about that. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the...
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot... Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
This does not represent the official...
Don't worry. Karamazov shot 15 million people in the head. But that was all the way over in Grad. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could... Him and tens of thousands of his wonder... The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective. Or the remaining gentry. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war to foreign intervention. The Coalition. Those people really took the mineral right. The Liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The Coalition took the ground. The Coalition of Nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe, at least not in the same manner and volume as the others do.
The rulers of Revachol.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. Of course. Not easy to be moderate about headshoot. The turn of the century revolution? The revolution began in '02. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain from Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's. Why? You and I, officer.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because...
No doubt. But we share the same... A city-state divided into free market zones under...
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in 43 years. The 20s saw a decade of urban war west of the River. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. No, it was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it. Welcome to reality, baby.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her...
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... We could have had so much more. Every one of us. Oh, good question. What would you have done differently? And I asked you, past-less detective of the citizens.
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing. The cold runs down your spine.
I see. A tenth of humanity. The key of history is in the lock. Keep turning at any cost.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. The cold dissipates into your parietal lobe, like...
Capital is past.
Past? That's what De Briever, the leader of the Communards, said, before she got a bullet in her head. Capital is finished. But understand this. It's...
Opinions expressed here do not...
And what is your official...
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone to...
Understandable. Good question. And I asked you.
Here's some wisdom, lady.
And you would have died, most likely.
The cold runs down your spine. The wind stops.
Then you would have died fighting against them. They are what they are. Who knows? Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about...
Hmm.
She won't maneuver her way out of this.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. I am an ultra.
It's sharp.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed... I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left, no?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-sacrifice. Forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
That's a pity. I hope we can remain collegial despite the fact that I'm a high priestess of the capital. Honestly, I may have even preferred it had the communards won. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, with due respect to our overlords, the eternal Ket.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella. Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes.
Yes, I suppose I am.
Seditious talk, man.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?